Hello, it's me, Kevin Wait, no. Today, I forgot to put my display name on. Today, I'm Evil Kitty Kevin, and I got my one of my Evil Kitty t-shirts on. I know my guest does as well. It's kind of like wearing the band t-shirt to the show of the band you're gonna see, right? But that's all right. We're honoring Evil Kitty today. And that was, of course, Green Jelly from, what was it? Only last weekend, I was on tour with Green Jelly. I'm member number 237. And if you think that's impressive, I met 1,114. So, yeah, it was kind of funny being sort of old school, but almost every other person there had joined after I did. So I was like the senior most non-Billman speaker member of the band. And I know we have a convert. Welcome to the Jello train. It's fun. It's chaotic. It's you never know where it's gonna go. Well, actually, I can tell you where it's gonna go. I'll wait till I bring my guest on to say that. I think he could join us for the news because why not? Hudson, that is not the Evil Kitty music video premiere. That will come in a little bit. But thanks for coming. Are you ready? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. We got 2 thumbs up. Awesome. Hello, Evil Kitty Keith. Oops, I muted your mic. Welcome, Evil Kitty Keith. Take 2.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
So I see you also have your Evil Kitty. So yours is a baseball shirt, and I look like I'm at a country club. So what kind of band is this supposed to be?
This is a band that's like Kiss, and if we can put our name
Yeah,
or logo
right.
on it, we will.
Yeah, well, do you have coffins yet?
Not yet. We're still working on shirts
And
and hats, but we'll work our way up to coffins.
all right, that's fair. Yeah. Here's another question. Do you have a cruise?
I do
Because
not.
Kiss has a cruise, and guess who's gonna be playing that cruise?
Evil Kitty. No.
Evil Green Jelly with umlauts over the Y, pronounced Green Jello with Lita Ford, George Lynch.
Dawkins. Yeah, I saw it. It's quite a
No,
lineup.
not Dawkins,
No,
Warren.
well, I thought George Lynch is on there twice. I think he's
There's,
doing
I
2
guess
different
there's
deals.
different weeks. Let's see. Yeah. Oh yeah, there is Dawkins.
Yeah, I think it was
Dawkins
Dawkins
and
and George
Warrant,
Lynch.
L.A. Guns. I'm not sure which
Yeah,
version of
Lita.
that band, and I don't really care.
Which I don't know if Lou is in the chat, but I know Lou is a massive Lita Ford fan. So
Lucifer, are you here? Drop a comment. Oh, they're only on the first. Okay, this is so I guess there's 2 cruises, and they're each 2 weeks long. Goddamn. You know, I saw not only, well, we saw Kiss right in the 90s with
I think
Skid Row and Ted Nugent.
I think that was on the Psycho Circus tour.
It was the Psycho Circus tour, which not only yeah, it was the original lineup still.
It was back in makeup.
Back in makeup, and you know who was responsible for launching the Kiss reunion when they put their makeup on?
I don't.
Really? Green Jello.
Really?
That happened at Green Jello Studios. That's when Gene Simmons used to babysit Damien, Bill's son, who's now like in his mid-20s and living in China, like as a professional skateboarder and shit. It's crazy. Yes, the Kiss reunion, which we saw the later part of, not the initial tour, but the next album tour, started at Green Jelly Studios. And that was, I think, Bill's idea was like, you gotta put the fucking makeup back on or no one's gonna care. So another $1 million idea from Bill Manspeaker. And if he didn't say that, we're gonna credit him for it anyways.
Yes. The gift that keeps giving.
Yeah. What I was leading to was I saw Kiss on their final tour
20 years ago?
About 3 years ago. Which I guess they are still on, you know, no thanks to COVID and all that. But I think this last tour is going to just go on forever. obviously they just scheduled the Kiss cruise. But yeah, it was great. Go see it. The only weird thing I think about it was they didn't play Strutter, which is the
Really?
first song on their first album. Like, that's crazy. And I just noticed I totally have the wrong banner up. So just ignore all of that. This is not Found a Phantom. This is VonPod with Evil Kitty Keith. Oh boy, I am off my game today, but that's okay. It's all fun and games here. What's happening over there? What's your news, I guess?
I don't know if it's news. I just had a kind of lull between the projects I'm currently working on. So I decided to do a passion project and go back to the Evil Kitty archives and do a remix, refresh, remaster of the tracks and get it out there, because I realized I keep showing up on your podcasts and you keep
Yeah.
calling me Evil Kitty Keith, and yet nobody knows who Evil Kitty is, because we had
Evil
a
Kitty.
we had a
Who
demo
is Evil
CD.
Kitty?
We can get there in a minute, but I
Yeah.
mean, we had basically a CD that was available to buy back in the 90s, and I'm sure not too many people have it. So I'm
Is
sure
it this
barely
one?
that is the one.
From mp3.com?
That is, and there's two versions of that.
I very much missed that.
Is that the 6-track one or the 8-track one?
Oh, this one has 6 tracks. I don't think I
Okay.
have the other one.
Yeah, I think
There's
the
an 8-track
8-track.
one?
Yeah, I think we added was it Battle Rages on, and
Well,
maybe We
that's
Are
on
Alive?
here.
I have to look. Let me see.
We Are Alive's on here. I think these is, well, all of the original recordings plus Never Know and Storm of the Century, which of
Yeah.
course everyone listening is like, who cares? I don't know what the fuck you're
So
talking about.
so the 8-track one has You're Something Else, and
What is-
Never Know is on both. Storm
Yeah.
is on both.
Yeah, Love Is, Battle,
We Are
and We Are Alive.
Alive. Will I Cry? The 8-track
that's what
has
I
Will I
figured.
Cry and You're Something Else.
So that's probably the 8-track demo, right?
Yeah, and same covers on both of them. Just
Yeah.
both from m33.com.
Does anyone remember mp3.com?
That's
It was
basically like CD Baby before CD Baby.
Sort of, yeah. I was gonna say the music MySpace,
And yeah, we were on MySpace too.
of course, but I think
That's
this
how
kind
old
of
we are.
sort of predated it just a little bit, or at least its popularity.
But I figured, since you keep calling me Evil Kitty Keith and nobody knows who Evil Kitty is.
Yeah, what's up with that?
And those are great songs. I thought they were great songs. Never really recorded and put out in the quality I would have liked to have them.
Story of my life.
And I think most of it was because we were young and dumb when we did it. We were college kids, and we didn't know anything about a music studio. And when we had, the engineers, and they did all the mixes, and we didn't know what we were doing. So we were running guitars mic'd with all the effects on it, not realizing that is about the dumbest thing you can do, because it's going to come up as like a mess in the mix. But you live and you learn. So now I had all the original tracks. So I had the original drums, the original bass, the original everything. Redid
Like
almost
stems,
all the guitars,
as you would call them now, right?
Yeah. So I had to redo all the drum mixes, which is a nightmare. Redid all the guitars. So all the guitars are going to be freshly new for this release. But really,
you think you're better now than you were then?
That is a good question. I'm different now than I was then. I'm probably, in some ways I am. I think I was more unrestrained back then. I'm more reeled in today. I know what I want to do and I do it. Whereas back then I was just, I was actually watching a bunch of old videos. I was putting them from VHS to digitizing them. You keep inspiring me.
Oh, did you buy that thing that I have?
I did.
Oh, good. So
I
I don't
was
have
going
to do it then.
No, yeah, I did them. And I was watching the original recordings of our first demo, which is the one you ended up playing bass on, which is a story we got to.
Wait, we have video of that?
It's like 4 hours worth of studio.
I mean,
you filmed most of it. You were there and you're in it and you were filming it. And it was me.
Are you
and
sure
Kurt
that's not
and
the K through 12 recording?
No,
stuff?
this is Kurt and Olivia and Me
Really?
and Lou
I
and
don't
Randy.
remember this. I'm, like, really good with, like, my archive memory of things I've recorded, and because I remember when I mean, we're kinda skipping straight to it. Let's pull up a photo here.
Yeah, this is going way back, the Wayback Machine. That
That's
was our second bass player,
wait,
technically.
oh, yeah. So that's me. How
You
old am
know,
I? What
yeah,
year
you
is
had to
this?
be maybe 12 years old, wearing a bucket head shirt and a bass bigger than you are.
Yes, and I still have that bass, although it doesn't work right now. Maybe I'm gonna try to get it fixed.
So yeah, I mean, the story was this is a band that we met in college. It was a friend of mine named Kurt, and when we were in school together, and
Who
Kurt
I
found
believe
out.
is the guy in the background in this picture
I
here.
believe it is, yeah, and I think that was in Lou's basement, if I remember.
Yeah, I think so.
And so Kurt had found out that I played guitar, and he said, "Well, why don't we do a band?" And I was like, "With who?" And he really formed the band. To be honest, I can't even take credit for forming it because I didn't. Kurt did, and he said, "Well, I'll sing."
He's the
And
Hunter Jackson of Evil Kitty.
he is, and he was kind of thrown out,
Yeah,
and we've reconciled over the years. But
right.
yeah, we had a falling out, and so yeah, so he introduced the core members of the band. It was his uncle Randy was our drummer, and he had a high school friend Lou, and then he brought him in,
Oh,
and
they
then
went
this
to high school together?
they went to high school together. That's how that
I
was
don't
their
remember if I
connection,
knew that.
and that was the first time I met Lou and Randy. And he brought in this guy Dave who played bass, and the
Oh,
origins of the
yeah,
that's
Dave.
the guy with the weird like Australian looking hat. I think there's a group photo he's in
I'm
because
trying to see,
this is an old
is
group.
this
Nope, nope, that's
that's
later.
later.
That's
It's
Jen.
hard to, figure out the timeline here.
Yeah, I just gave you very
Uh, I'm
unorganized.
gonna look through them.
But yeah,
I don't
Dave
know if
was the
I
bass
have that
player.
one.
There's definitely a group photo there with the original band, which was Kurt, me, Lou, Randy, and Dave. That was the OG lineup.
Well, I mean, I'll play all the slides I have at some point, so
Yeah, we'll
if
get
it
to it.
pulls
We'll,
up
we'll get
I
to
don't
Dave.
see it though, like, flipping through it.
Pretty sure I selected it, but maybe not.
Hmm.
But that was OG Dave, and we basically started just playing metal covers, like we were doing Metallica before Stranger Things made Metallica famous.
Yeah,
We, we,
you were
we were
playing
playing.
Sanitarium.
We did. We played Sanitarium.
I remember playing that song.
We played Louie Louie because Lou was in the band and we thought it was funny. We
Oh,
played.
yeah.
Trying to
What
remember what else we played.
what version of Louie Louie do you go
Oh,
to first when you think of Louie Louie? The original?
probably six. I don't even know. It was just we did it as a joke. Lou was in the band. We thought it was funny. A
Oh, you're
lot of things
breaking up
we
a little
did.
bit.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I don't know if there's anything we could do to fix that, but I think you're back,
But most of the stuff we
sort of.
did because we thought it was funny. We was for a laugh. That was the original band. But we didn't do anything. Didn't do any originals.
Are
And
you,
then
like, frozen on your end?
I am not. I can refresh. Hold on.
Oh, oh, we're gonna see what happens when he comes back into the room. Well, I was gonna say the version of Louie Louie now later in my life that I most am familiar with is probably Black Flag. Did you hear that?
Something about Black Flag.
Yeah, I'd say now in my later years of my life, the version that I would go to first in my mind is Black Flag.
I think I know it.
Probably not.
But anyway, yeah. After that version of the band, we decided we wanted to do originals. Dave quit because Dave was kind of flaky.
Yeah, I don't remember too much about that guy.
Yeah, the stuff I do remember, I don't know if I can talk about because what we did it was kind of illegal, so I don't really want to
Right.
get into that. But yeah, at the time, Lou was
What's the
playing
statute of
guitar
limitations here?
on breaking and entering. No,
I don't know.
especially in a
I
religious
heard nothing.
institution.
I hear nothing. I don't know anything about it.
But yeah, so we decided we wanted to do originals at the time. Lou was playing guitar, so we were a two guitar band, just like
All the classic metal
Metallica or
bands.
yeah. And so he was playing like a Jackson Kelly and Uh, and we had Dave, but then we wanted to do originals, and really the only originals we had were Randy's because Randy was like 20 years older than us.
Yeah.
He was kind of the
Which means
guy,
he was like 30 years older than me.
probably.
Let's see, if I was 12, he was like 43.
Yeah. So he had
Wow.
the original music, which was Battle Rages On, We Are a Lie, and Will I Cry. Those were all
Which are
Randy
all sort of
originals.
like ballads, actually.
We Are a Lie is not.
No, not
That's
We
pretty
Are
heavy. And then at the time, the first track Lou and we co-wrote was America, with a K, of course, because we were 20 and we thought that was funny and cool.
Yeah, and not because of the KKK or anything like
No, 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 no,
that.
no. This was, I think Lou wrote the lyrics. I wrote most of the music with Randy. And it's really about government. Pretty much everything we did back then was about government is watching you and Big Brother conspiracy, because Randy was all paranoid.
Was that all Randy? Because had you ever read 1984? Because I actually read that recently.
I've never read it.
That's where that all comes from.
Yeah. So yeah, that was. I mean,
directly. Randy must have read that book and wrote like an album about it.
Well, Randy was also going through ayahuasca and a bunch of other stuff. So
sure, that sounds fun.
Yeah, he was the crazy of the band, but we decided we wanted to record it. So and then we got a second singer, which was Olivia. So we had Olivia and Kurt. So we were the original Lacuna Coil with like the metal band with the guy and the chick singer.
Yeah, sure. I'll give you that. Mm-hmm.
Not as big, not as famous, not as known, but
those guys they're pretty talented.
I would say we were talented, but yeah,
you're not quite on that level. I mean, as singers, I don't think they were quite at that level.
Oh no, maybe not as singers. No, for sure. That's true. But we ended up recording the 4-song demo, which was which I actually have here. This actually has the picture of Dave. I don't know if you can see it in there.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I have that picture. I remember it though.
Dave.
Yeah, my cover doesn't have that.
No, that's not that version. This is the original demo and we never released this.
Right. So that's just the CD you made.
Correct. This was because you got to remember at the time to get like booking shows or to do anything, you had to have like your own kind of a press kit and a physical medium, especially to get shows in like New York City. And it was all physical cassettes or at the time CDs. So
right,
for us
but you never really played any shows.
But we wanted to. Well,
you wanted to. What's up with that? You did all of this without ever playing a show.
But this got us a big show, actually. So what we did was, So what we did was we submitted this, which is funny because we submitted this to a couple clubs in New York, and we got no response. No, this is back in what, 93, 94. Yeah, I think the PMC was 94. I'm pretty sure the Philadelphia Music Concert was 94.
Had to be at least 96, because I would have been 10 in 1994.
Maybe you were.
So maybe I played my first show with you when I was 11 at the movie theater.
The movie theater, yeah, I remember that.
It's a couple of years after that.
But that could have been around the same time, though. I don't know if that was necessarily before. I might have been doing both, because you know me, I always had.
I'm trying to see if there's a date on this, but I don't think there is.
But
I would
I'm pretty
say
sure
at least 96, 97.
I can tell you, if we go to break, I can tell you.
But it's in the mid 90s, yeah.
It was in the mid 90s. So we were submitting to some clubs in New York. We got nothing. But then we submitted ourselves to what was one of the biggest music showcases in the country at the time, the Philadelphia Music Conference. And somehow they listened to our demo and said yes. So suddenly we got this show at the Philadelphia Music Conference. But then, like everything with Evil Kitty, it never goes according to plan.
A comedy of errors, would you say?
It was a comedy of errors, which is a song for another project. But yeah, and what happened was we had our falling out with Kurt, and Olivia left the band, or I don't even know what happened, but they both were gone.
Either. Yeah.
Because I know I'm still on good terms with Olivia. I still
really.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm
still friends with her. Do you want to be on the show right now?
I don't know. Don't know where she is right now. She's probably at the Mets game. But yeah, they both left. And the next thing you know, we're singerless. So we were reaching out to all of these other local singers in New York. I remember Suzanne Saunders, who was playing in a band called Vampness at the time, who was like
I
this
remember
cool
that,
goth like
yeah.
metal band.
And what's funny
And
is if I was a little bit older, I probably would have been hanging out in the same scenes as her.
probably, but we couldn't convince any of them to do the show. So we went as like a cream, as a three piece, which I actually have the video of that show too.
Yeah.
And it was a three piece. So Randy played drums and sang. Lou played
It's not
bass.
that he had a bad voice, it was just a bad idea. It's
Sadly, well, I recently watched the video of it. It sounded a lot better than I remembered it. It
yeah,
actually
but
sounded pretty
compared
good.
to having a female singer as you are
Oh,
supposed
for
to,
sure,
you know,
for
it was kinda
sure.
like, "Ooh, this is not what you
Right.
what we expected."
But just like
Not
typical
that
Emo
anyone was there
Kitty.
expecting you. I don't think any did you have anyone there that even knew who you were? 'Cause
No,
'cause you're from New York and
no.
this was Philly
It was in
anyways.
Philly, right? And what was funny about the show is we were supposed to be the co-headline. Now remember, this is a band with a demo that couldn't get a show in New York City, that didn't even have a singer in place, and yeah, we co-headlined a stage at the
A
Philadelphia
stage, but
Music,
I also
a
need to
small stage.
say,
It was a
like,
small stage.
this conference probably filled up every venue in town, plus the hotels and
Well,
everything.
we
Like,
played the
there was probably, like,
day.
100 shows happening,
Well,
right?
um, not when we were playing. So that they had about 4 or 5 stages around the hotel for the conference, and that was the day. And that's when all the people were in the hotel, because what you're talking about was at night they had like some of the bigger established groups were
Mm,
playing in all the clubs around
right.
Philadelphia at night, and those were your bigger bands. So I think Stuttering John, remember from him from Howard Stern, he had a band. I think
Talk
he
My
was
Way Out
on
of It,
one.
right?
No, I think it was just called Stuttering John. I
No,
think
I
was the
know,
name
but
of the
that was his
band.
song, right? "And I'll
Oh, it
talk
might
my
have
way
been.
out of it.
Yeah, I think it was.
Tell me something nice."
But I think he
Right?
was one of the big names that was there that year.
Wow, I haven't heard it
Um,
I haven't thought of that song in, like, 30
and
years.
I bet you if I looked, Tapping the Vein was probably playing too. If I
Oh,
had to
I'm
take a
sure.
guess, I'm sure they were
That's
probably
probably how
headlining.
I think that's how we discovered them was
It
because they
might
were
have
on the
been.
CDs and stuff,
It
the
could have been.
samplers.
So yeah, but at the time there was zero significance to that show. Absolutely none.
But you
But
shoulda
when
kept your camera rolling, right?
well, no, because the band that we're about to talk about
Yeah.
played about 4 hours before us.
Well, then you should yeah. Damn.
They were actually the opening band for our stage that night. We were supposed to be the co-headliner, but there was some kind of contractual disputes, and we actually got cut off in the middle of the set. They shut off all the power. So we ended up being the last band. So you could say we ended up headlining that
Wait,
stage
you were
out of
supposed to,
circumstance.
play
We were supposed to
longer?
be, yeah, probably about 2 songs longer, I would say.
Yeah, 'cause I
So
think you
about into
only
our
played,
third or
like,
fourth,
4 songs, right?
it was like 3.5 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Oof,
wasn't.
it's comedy
It
of
was
errors.
very. Yeah. But the people that saw us liked it. We got a nice ovation.
So who did you play with?
But the opening band, and I remember watching them because we were there for breakfast. We said, "Hey, let's go down and check out the stage." And so we went down and we were hanging out at the bar, and it was this weird group. It was like
Hold
these
on.
two
Keep
little.
talking, I'm gonna try to
You
find
know, try to
something.
find the picture.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, so a picture.
A picture. So it was this weird kind of family band. It was this little kid on drums, his sister playing a guitar and singing, and this older guy who turns out was their father playing a bass. And it was very strange. And they played, and we watched. It wasn't great. It wasn't great. And
How
after
old
the
were these
show,
kids, you would say?
man, he had to have been like 14 and she was probably like 16, I would
Yeah.
say. So they were young. And after the show, I remember Lou going up and talking to them and being like, "Hey, good show. We really liked it."
Shoulda
And
got an autograph.
should have gotten an autograph. Because a couple of years later, they decided to kick the father out of a band, get an age appropriate bass player, bring in another guitar player, which is funny because if Lou had given him our number, maybe at the time they would have called us as the bass player and guitar player. Maybe we could have filled those two roles.
Yeah, that
Uh,
doesn't seem logistically possible, but
but
sure,
the name
sure.
The name of the band stayed the same. They just removed the space from the name, but it stayed the same. And the name of the band was Hailstorm. So you're talking about Lizzie Hale, you're talking about R.J. Hale, you're talking
There they are.
that was, and I think one of the pictures I gave you was actually the set schedule from that show.
I don't think I got that
Check
either.
then check your messenger. I definitely sent you
No,
that
because you
picture.
sent me a flyer for a different show that we'll talk about later, but it's not that show.
No. I sent you a picture of the band list.
Lizzie grew up.
and I'm so glad she put down the guitar and picked up a Jackson. Actually, I think she's playing Gibson.
And of course, she's on the new Guar record.
She is.
So this article is Lizzie and Blothar interviewing each other.
Yeah. So there was, based on a little creative writing in our bio that Lou and I wrote, and a demo which actually featured you on bass, which is a funny story too.
That's true.
So technically, you're not just wearing an Evil Kitty shirt.
Right.
Technically, you're a former member.
I was going to ask, am I officially a member? Was a member of this band?
I mean, you're officially on a recording. That's more than most members of the band.
I guess that's true. I mean, I know I was like a permanent fill-in kind of.
It was a weird situation because at the time Lou was playing guitar, we had no bass player, and when you actually went in to record the parts, I wasn't even in town. So I think Dad drove you to the studio.
Yeah, I was there with Dad.
It was you and Lou and Dad, I think.
No, I don't even think Lou was there.
Really?
I don't. Maybe he was, but I don't
Lou or
really
Kurt had to have been there.
But I remember the engineer Tarek. Yeah, I remember him, and he was just like, you know, I think he was just impressed that I was competent enough to play those parts because I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're not like rocket science songs, but.
So technically, that's
I know Lou played the intro on one of them. I think America.
I don't think, not on bass. The
Star Spangled Banner part, I think it wasn't me.
Oh, I thought it was.
Maybe it is, but.
I think it was because at the time Lou didn't own a bass. Lou didn't play bass. Lou was a guitar player, and then shortly after that, after the whole Kurt debacle, we decided we needed a bass player, and Lou said, "I'll bite the bullet and I'll go learn bass." So that's when Lou started playing bass, which was incredible, and I thank him for that every day, which is why we still play together.
If he is, he's being silent. That's okay. If you want to be anonymous, Lou.
If he's not watching, he'll probably catch the replay. But yeah, Lou was a true team player, and which is why I'm currently doing a new project with Lou now, but which we're not going to talk about right now. But still to this day, Lou and I write and perform and play together. So he's been my, what does Kevin Smith say? He's my hetero life mate. I guess Lou is my hetero life mate.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, so by the time we went to the Philadelphia Music Conference, Lou was now on bass. So in that time, that span between the demo, which is I guess your first official recording. So I guess this is your first.
It actually might be my only studio recording, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I did a session with one band a couple of years ago, but I mostly am home recorded. Like I never really go into the studio to do things anymore.
Yeah. So Lou moved to bass, and then
Williams here. That's your name, right? Did I get it right? He was on my last show with.
That's our Ohio Green Jello fan.
That's right.
I saw his appearance on your show.
Yes, go check out. If you like that intro song, go back and listen to me talk about it on my last episode. And while I'm on the subject, the show that they do every Saturday, What the Fuck TV, WTF-TV.com, they're not having a normal show this Saturday because they just got off tour and everyone's fucking tired, and I don't know if all the equipment's even set up, but they're going to do a roundtable discussion of the tour, and I may or may not be able to call in, so check it out. They're at least going to talk about the shows that I played and play some clips on Saturday on WTF-TV.com, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. And then on the Hailstorm Guard tip, I just got to show my recent acquisition, because this was part of the pre-order of the new album and it just came in like 2 days ago. Their new graphic novel, which is just gigantic. It goes along with the album. Um, I didn't expect it to be this huge, but like, oh my God, how beautiful is this thing? And it came with a couple prints as well. Very, very cool. Go check out the new Guar album featuring Lizzie Hale, who is most famous for playing a show with Evil Kitty in the 90s, of course. I think I saw them for a few songs at a festival that I was filming.
You
That
saw them when they were doing the Keytar, or back?
oh
Are you talking about the show where you saw Baby Metal, where
yeah,
they? I
yeah. It
think
was
they were
like
at that festival.
Baby Metal, Slipknot, Judas Priest, Marilyn Manson, Scott Weiland before he died, Linkin Park before he died, Rise Against featuring Zach Blair, formerly of Guar. Just tons of bands, yeah. Ministry,
Yeah, Hellstorm's great. I've caught them a few
Halestorm,
times,
Slash with Miles Kennedy.
but I've seen them as I saw them as a headliner twice, I think, and I saw them famously open for Alice Cooper, which
Wait, Halestorm. Oh, recently.
yeah, I saw
Yeah.
Hellstorm a couple years ago. They opened up for Alice Cooper,
I
which was
really
a
wish I
great
could go
show
to that Halloween show he's doing with the Misfits. Could
with
you
Misfits. Yeah,
ever imagine that Alice Cooper would be opening a stadium for the Misfits?
yeah,
Good
that's
job. Go AC
and
Slade.
And I don't know if you saw now that Nita Strauss left his band to go join. Is
Yeah,
it? He
Kane
joined some
Roberts is
pop.
back.
Yeah, Kane Roberts is back. Yeah,
Who's the muscle action star looking guy from the 80s. And in fact, that's the show where I think Haunted Garage stole their mannequins for I mean, not, they acquired them after the tour was over in some fashion, is what I will officially say about it.
yeah. But I'm sure everyone here hopefully knows Hailstorm. If you're watching this and you don't know Hailstorm, do yourself a favor. They're amazing. They're like the future of female fronted hard rock music. They're
I haven't really
exceptional.
followed up on them recently. I mean, they're cool, very
Pretty
talented,
sure
for sure.
pretty sure if I ever get to play another show for them, they won't be opening for me. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, probably not. Well, I know we're skipping around the Evil Kitty timeline. Should we play the video?
Do we want to show the video? No, let's not.
We'll
Let's
save
build
it.
up.
Save
Yeah,
it
let's
to the
save it
end.
because we haven't
All
even
right.
got up to the singer that's there yet. So
Well, then,
let me go
first
quickly
of
through it.
all, well, let me go way back and tell me what this is.
That is the original Evil Kitty logo. If I remember, and again, this is where Lou would need to correct me.
So, Lou, if you're in the chat, correct him.
Lou is at NYU, and there was a friend of his who I believe is a nuclear physician now. So we're talking like brilliant woman. I think her name was Julia, and they used to pass notes back and forth in class where she would draw. This is before the band, by the way. This is before there was an Evil Kitty band. She used to draw him like Hello Kitty drawings, and he would then make them evil and say Evil Kitty. So Lou, that's why you see. I think there's different writing there. Like I think that the Hello Kitty is her writing, and he wrote evil over it, like Evil Kitty.
Yeah, I think I think it was originally on like a notebook or something.
Yeah. And yeah, progressed from there. There's just other. I only gave you the original. I think there was a couple others like that we had, but then we kind of progressed it to the eyes. It started off almost like a green bug eye. I think it was like one of the
Well,
next
I think you
versions.
stole that from someone. We won't
Like,
talk about that.
the green bug eyes.
One of your first logos you stole and kind of got caught. What's up, Mel? My Killer Podcast in the house. What's up? What's up?
Yeah, I don't remember that being stolen. I just remember it wasn't good. so
Well,
so we
let's
actually
say it was pre-existing and you found it on the internet somewhere,
it
and
could
then
have
you got
been.
caught.
But then Kurt knew this girl he was trying to hook up with, and she was a graphic artist, so she actually then designed the current eyes, which is
Yeah,
the
kind of a little
better,
bit.
pretty cool ones. So yeah, that's the history of the logo, which was cool. That was the
I'm
next
showing these
iteration of this is good.
in
No,
the
this is
order that they
perfect.
were sent to me, so
This is
hopefully this is
perfect.
chronological.
Yeah. So post PMC, like a year or so later, we continued to audition, and the singer there, that's Jennifer Roth Hart.
Well, I'm gonna replay this comment in a little bit when I talk about the documentary.
So Jennifer Roth Hart, I believe she played in a band called Fair to Midland. I think that was the name of the band out of New
I don't
Jersey.
remember. She's from New
Um,
Jersey?
she's from New Jersey, and we got her in the band, and that's when we went back to the studio again, but this time with some more modern tracks that would be probably more the style that Evil they are. There's songs that we kept from the Evil Kitty days. So what she brought in, she wrote the lyrics to actually the song that we're going to debut tonight. Love Is. She
Right.
wrote the lyrics to Love Is, and she wrote the lyrics to Storm of the Century, which is another big song that we played most every show. And then
Yes, all your 4 shows or whatever.
and she also the Never Know is actually a Fair to Midland song. That was actually her
Oh,
song that
yeah.
she brought in, and we did a cover of it. We rocked it up. The original version of that song
So you
never
didn't
got
write that
heavy.
at all?
Never Know.
I
No, that was
forgot
all
about
Jennifer.
that.
But I remember the first, and I probably have the rehearsal where she showed it to us. I probably have the
Roth
video.
Heart. Yeah.
And what happened was she was showing it to us, and she was just playing it. And as she's playing it, Lou and I just looked at each other like where we thought the hook should go, and our heads just nodded at the same time. We're like, "Yep, that's it." And so
Mhm.
when we started playing it back, obviously I cranked in a distortion at a certain point, and we made it an Evil Kitty song, which of course had to be heavier than what it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
And it became Never Know. So yeah, Jen wrote. She probably
Are
wrote
you in
most of the lyrics.
contact with her at all?
I haven't heard from her in years.
Because how do you think if she found out that you were still reusing that song, she'd be like, "What the fuck?" or what?
Well, I mean, theoretically, you can cover songs without telling the artist. Now,
Yeah, I
if
guess
there's any
so.
if there's any royalties, I will. She'll get them. I'm not stealing money from anybody. And
Yeah.
anybody who wrote anything on this album, if there's any money made, will get paid. So I
Yeah.
will definitely hold any money
Pennies,
for
I'm
her. I'm not.
sure, yeah.
Well, if anything, I mean,
Yeah.
if it ever makes any money, she will get her cut for sure. And the next singer too, she wrote one of the lyrics. I will make sure they get their cuts.
That's
And there's Jen
another one.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
with
these are
Jen.
all, I think all in the, studio building that you rehearsed, right?
That was from the rehearsal building.
Which
Yeah.
was next door to a club called the Downtime, or best known in the goth community as the Albion Batcave,
Yep.
and later became Slake, where, Von Esper would play a show, and Skeletal Life also played there,
Is that the club we tried to go see?
Tapping
Was it
the Vein.
Tapping? And we were dressed too a little too preppy and
Yeah,
didn't
that
really
do
work
you wanna
out.
tell that story? That was when it was that was the Batcave night, so you start the story and I'll interject.
I don't even know if I remember it, but I
Oh,
remember we were a fan of theirs from the PMC. Probably they
yeah,
were a
you
Philadelphia band. They're awesome, by
it
the
all
way.
connects back to that, yeah.
Yeah, they're and again, if you go check them out, the original demo we heard, you could probably only buy at the time from the shows, but then most of that stuff was on their CD from I think Nuclear Blast signed them. I think they were on Nuclear Blast
Yeah, I think
for a
they
little bit.
reissued that stuff, yeah.
But yeah, check them out. Look, it's Tapping the Vein.
Yeah, they're like a goth band with a
And if you
female
do, and
singer.
if you want to, the song I would recommend is a song called Butterfly.
Butterfly,
Look up
yeah.
the song Butterfly. And then I know Kevin's seen them. You've seen them a few times. I think
I
you even
saw
had
them
some footage. Didn't you film them? I thought you did
oh,
some
yeah,
not so professionally done, but I thought you did do some of their
that
show in like
might
New
be
Jersey or something.
true. I think I did, which is funny because I remember the opening band more than them, they were called Ghost Orgy.
Hmm.
Yeah, fuck, I forgot about that. I remember seeing them another time with you in New Jersey at a place called The Cove. I believe it was in Roselle, and I remember that because one of my bands, Society Can't Accept Me, played there once.
Yeah, and I also took my girlfriend, who would later become my wife, to go see them on an early date. So she has like one of their.
Where was that?
It had to be downtown somewhere. I don't remember where, but it had to be. It was. I know it was a 2-story club. It was big.
Hmm.
I don't remember where it was, but I
Was it
remember
a goth party?
oh, I was never part of the goth scene, so it
Yeah,
could have been.
because I probably
It
know
could
all
have
these
been.
people now, like
It very well could have been. But yeah, I mean they're awesome. But I think they were playing downstairs. I took my brother and we were just dressed up because you were underage, right? So I think we
oh,
did we
yeah, I
have you
was,
like
like,
a fake
13
ID?
or 14. You tried to make me the worst you and Lou tr
Tried to make a fake ID,
apparently made me a
allegedly.
card that was for college. It didn't even have dates on it. It was the worst fake ID ever made.
It didn't work.
Oh, no. Well, I think what didn't work about it even A, yes, that was terrible and it didn't work because it wasn't an official ID to anything and didn't have any dates on it and it looked crappy. And I clearly looked like underage. I mean, I was like 13, probably 14 at the most. And the funniest part about it was because now I know this club as a goth scene place. Like, this is a famous place in the goth scene in New York. And I've actually been there a couple times before when it was the Bat Cave, before it became a bunch of other names and just venues and whatever. Um, but you were like, we'll dress you up so you look older. So you put me in like these preppy clothes, like we were going to some fucking country club because I guess that's, what older people would wear. And then we're outside with all these people in like latex and eyeliner, like all totally fishnets and gothed up. And it's just like, we absolutely 110% do not belong here. And it's very obvious. You just dressed me up for the complete wrong scene.
I'm
If
trying
I was
to.
in like some all black with lots of eyeliner, like I could have passed for maybe I
Was
could have
that
had
with
enough makeup on where you couldn't tell my age, but it was the complete opposite direction.
was that with Kurt or Lou? It had to be with one of them, right?
Probably Lou. I don't remember. I don't know if you were
I
talking
want to
to
say
Kurt
it
at the
was.
time.
Oh, you're right. You're probably right. Kurt might have been on at the
Probably Lou. So
time.
we didn't end up getting in. I mean, you could have gone in, but you wouldn't have
I
just
wasn't
left
going
me
to
on the
leave you.
street.
I was going to
And
leave
we
a
were like
13-year-old kid in the street.
incredibly disappointed and mad at the club, but it's like in hindsight, we were totally fucked up. We totally fucked that up.
Yeah,
But
that
we did
was
go see them eventually at the Cove.
did.
I'm guessing that was an all ages show because
Yeah,
I was there.
yeah. But then, yeah. So to go back to Jen, we recorded our next demo with her with these new songs, which is a more
Oh, what
we
year
kind
would you
of
say this is?
my God, that had to
Well, again,
be 96, 97,
so probably it's 97, 98.
somewhere in there. I mean,
Because
did these have? I don't know if these have
I
dates on
don't
them.
have a date on this one,
I don't know if any of these have dates.
which is a dang shame. Not even from mp3.com. Like they just don't care.
Yeah, I don't know what date, but it had to be getting into the later 90s. And the weird thing about Jen, and she was talented. Don't get me wrong. She's very very talented. And Lou and I were recently talking about, hey, we need some lyrics, and we were like, hey, Jen seemed to be pretty prolific, and she wrote like most of the lyrics on all the Evil Kitty songs. So we're like, maybe
Hmm.
we can go find Jen. Um, the weird thing about her, we're in the studio. I remember we were
You should
recording.
try.
Yeah. But when we were recording, she refused to do background vocals. Like she didn't believe in background vocals, which I thought was strange.
Oh, that is pretty weird.
But then I think what happened is I think she was married, and I think they were moving to somewhere further out in New Jersey that would have been too far to come practice in New York. So I think that's why she left. Again,
Gotcha.
it was no bad terms or anything. It was just timing. So she left. And the other reason you asked, you think I'm okay using Never Know? I mean, we recorded it for Evil Kitty
Yeah, I
with
know.
her and probably spent a good $2,000 to record it. So I mean,
Yeah.
so yeah. But like I said, if there's any royalties, I definitely will give her cuts. Not going to screw anybody. That's not my game. And
Nice.
so she left, and the next singer we had,
Is that her?
there you go. It's Jamie
It's a bad
Scandal.
quality picture. Sorry for all the pixelation and the canceled shirt that Lou's wearing.
So I wonder. There's a possibility that at some point Jamie might see this video.
Oh
Um,
yeah?
I'll tell you why in a minute. But so Jamie she was interesting because she was like a true punk rocker. She lived like the lifestyle of like a punk rocker, which was cool. And she had a good voice.
I remember liking her a lot. Yeah.
We liked her. She was kind of her I don't know if her personality maybe didn't fit so much because she was so like a true punk rocker. She just lived that kind of life, and we were more
Suburban kids.
yeah, suburban kids, educated. Well, at least Lou and I were
Yeah.
educated. Randy was like her grandfather.
Right.
But by the way, I joke about Randy. Randy's one of the most tremendous drummers I've ever played with.
He's a machine. He's a machine.
He's an incredible drummer and good songwriter too. So I give Randy a ton of props.
Sure. But he's easy to dunk on.
Yeah,
we're punching down a little bit. Sorry, Randy.
And so Jamie, with her, we wrote one new song. We wrote "You're Something Else."
Oh,
which
that's
is
like the best song.
Yeah, so this is now getting into like the Evil Kitty sound with the big keyboards and the big organ hooks and the big and I think the organ, the exact tone, because I still have the unit I used to record all that. The exact tone I think that's on the recording for Your Something Else is what I sent you for your Found a Phantom.
Yeah, which I still haven't finished. I've been backed up. All right, I've been doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
trying to pack it all in before I start working again.
Yeah, but that song. So once we finally release this, if anyone goes and checks it out on the streaming services, you can go check out You're Something Else. It's got the big organ opening. It's a big organ and with pianos, but it's also the big guitar, big rock kind of epic kind of song.
Yeah, it's yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, and which just kind of fits too, because Battle Rages On was our first song. That's also a big epic Randy song that has the organs and all the elements that would become.
Is this a studio session or is this?
That is a studio session with Lou and I.
Which recording session was this? Do you remember?
Honestly, that might be K through 12.
Yeah, it might be.
That might have been which was kind of our side project.
Skipping ahead, right?
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to go there,
I guess was she the next singer?
That was so. What happened now? Again, now going back to like remember our PMC debacle.
What was her name? The last singer, Jamie.
It was Jamie Scandal. So okay.
I want to hear what she's been doing. So if Jamie, if you're watching,
I can tell you. I can actually tell you what she's been doing because this is crazy. So I have a YouTube channel,
right?
But it has like 11 followers, right? So it's kind of a joke. So maybe if anybody out here wants to find me and join it to make me feel better, go ahead. But it's kind of a joke that there's some content on there, but there's just not many sellers
for a while.
I did my own little.
Hey, you got 19 now.
Got 19 followers. We're getting there.
Go follow. I don't know what your URL is.
Evil Kitty Music.
Look up Evil Kitty Music on YouTube. You'll find it.
Or look up Evil Kitty Presents. I think it was the show I did for a little bit.
Yeah, Evil Kitty Music Presents is what's on here. You should put them all in a playlist.
So what's funny is one day I was checking who my users are because I figured it's probably like mom. And you, and, your typical like,
and then
6
me
people.
Again, probably.
Right. So like 6 people, but one of them was Jamie Scandal. I was like,
whoa.
Holy crap! So she's stalking me. This is kind of interesting, which is cool. So I back checked her stuff. She became a stand-up comedian.
Oh wow!
There she is. She's
your face the first
I'm gonna subscribe. She's got 144 followers.
See that?
Oh, this video is from 12 years ago. Jeez.
So yes, I don't know if she's currently doing it, but she actually took a run as a New York stand-up, which I think is kind of cool. That's kind of.
Let's. Should we check some of it out?
I watched some. They're mildly funny.
Uh-oh.
Please welcome our good friend Jamie Scandal.
We're not gonna watch the whole 10 minutes, so we'll watch the first few minutes.
Come on, give it up. Yes, Jamie Scandal. Here we go.
Yeah, I could like go drive out and see her.
Oh my gosh.
I like her scarf. It's the floor from The Shining.
The Shining, which I think she talks about in this.
This is my new favorite thing.
There we go.
The rug from The Shining. And since my set is going to be about little girls and scary things, I thought I would bring that too. They're hopefully not in a beer stain. So as we get going,
so comedy and ukulele.
Going to happen, I thought I would tell you. Oh yes, the subtitles.
Take it off. Take it off.
I'll show you all the curves. Isn't that what we call them these days? Instead of Michelin Man fat rolls. Okay. So I wanted to talk about the time of season. It is Girl Scout cookie time. And people that are shaped like me know this because we wait for it all year. We cannot wait. And so I was thinking about Girl Scouts and how easy they have it these days because, especially in New York, these Girl Scouts, they go to sell their cookies and it's like, the one girl in the building where I work, she printed out a picture of her face, taped it to the sheet with all the selections on it, and then the people just go by and they check the boxes that they want, like they're at off-track betting on horses, and then they give the money to the doorman like he's her personal bookie or something. Well, she's upstairs with her pajamas on watching SpongeBob, and I'm like, this is not the way it was when I was a kid. When I was a kid, you had to put on the uniform and go door to door alone. And the uniform, I don't know if you remember it, but we had to wear this like green beret and little green knee-high socks and a green mini skirt. And it was like a pedophile's wet dream. Like, hello. I was in the walking episode of To Catch a Predator. And my parents were like, here, go be an episode of Cold Case Files. We don't care. And so, and then it had this sash on it, like some half-assed Miss America sash with these little patches of like your achievements. It may as well have just read Kidnap and Kill Me Now, okay? And so here I go, I'm 10, marching down, like door number 1, ding dong. Mister, would you like to buy some cookies? Tall, strapping guy, glasses. Butcher's apron, bread right hand, drill, bubbling cauldron of funk in the back. Smells like bacon, human.
All right. Well, she's a comedian now.
She's a comedian.
Hey, Jamie, come on my show. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, she's always been a personality. So, it was fun to see her. I was like, you know what, this is kind of cool. That you can be part of the Evil Key legacy. Still doing
you're breaking
things.
up again.
No.
Wait, come back in again.
Come back in
Wait.
again.
Yeah.
Am I good?
No,
Okay.
I don't know. I'm gonna remove you. Womp womp. Technical difficulties. Well, here's something I can show you while we wait. I'm gonna be promoting my new album here as well. Oh, there it is. There you are. I'm doing a segue to promote my new album, which I think is done as of today. I haven't checked the latest masters, but in general, it's done and it'll be out very, very soon. Go to Bandcamp, pre-order it. I just put up, so there's the USB drive, which has been up for probably a year for pre-order because I expected to get this out about a year ago and that didn't happen. Whatever, man, that's what happens with DIY projects and no record label or any support. So there's the USB drive. That's still going to be delayed because for that, I want to put the entire video album on it, as well as the instrumental mixes and everything else. And that's just not done yet. So what's going to be done first is the music, and that's going to be coming real soon. So I added a CD, hand-drawn covers like this. There's about 30 of them, and yeah, it'll be totally DIY. Go pick it up because your boy came home from tour pretty poor. So go buy my album. It's coming out very soon, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later because Evil Kid Keith is on it, all over it, really.
I think about 5 tracks. I think a little less than half.
At least.
I think I counted 5, maybe 6, but I think it was 5.
And in the meantime, I've been working on the second album, which is almost done. So
is that
follow
the one with the tribute song that I played on?
The tribute song?
To Jack?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Which I may owe you another video for because I realized I did it in vertical, not horizontal.
Wait, you did guitar tracks for that song?
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know if I mixed those in. All right, well, I'm going to have to look at that. That's actually going to come out, I think, on a Jack Terry Cloth, like, tribute projects.
Well, make sure you mix me in. I did some pretty
Yeah.
killer guitars for that.
Okay. Shit. Okay. Good thing I am having this conversation because you just record so much stuff that I guess I forgot one.
Yeah, and I did another one too that I think I shot a video
Everything
for.
is gonna be all okay.
Yeah, I did that one, and I think there's another one on that album that you had pushed back that was going to be on this album. That I did a video for. I don't remember the song, but I know I did it.
That should be on that album. Hey, you're up to 21 subscribers because of this show here. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Yeah, that's you're not on most of this one, but
No, I think I'm on like 5 tracks. I know I did the
no,
intro
I mean the
plus like
next
4.
album.
I think I'm on 2 for that one, but
Well, there's 3 albums, so you don't know how I've split
You
up
don't know
all
how
the
to split 'em
songs.
up.
Yeah, I keep
Okay.
changing the order. They're kind of thematic. This one's mostly just me, but
But then I also want to talk to you too because I want to get more onto this Putty Root stuff before that comes out. I want to be all over that.
yeah, that'd be great. That's a whole nother conversation, and I would love to get that out too. Trust me, like we're naming bands that you probably never heard of out there, but I have like probably 5 to 10 albums worth of material from different projects. In some cases, basically just ready to go. It's just the project is not, current or active, I guess is the word.
Well, Putty Root to me is my influence on you because that was your female. Well, I guess Vonesper too, but Putty Root was predates Vonesper. That was your.
Technically not. Technically not.
Technically not.
Technically, I started using the name Vonesper in 1999 for 2 demos that I recorded post Project Mayhem, and then that I didn't want to use the name Vonesper for a band yet, so that became Putty Root.
Yeah, but when I think Putty Root, like I think blank, and when I think blank, I think that's like the Evil Kitty song that I didn't write that you wrote. That's a very.
Hey, if you want to cover it, you did cover it.
I did.
Is it going to be on one of your albums?
No, not. I think the drums on that were all messed up. I don't think they were very good. I need to redo them, but maybe.
Let's continue the Evil Kitty story.
Yeah, so let's keep going to Comedy of Errors. What happened was Jamie was in the band, and I was working for a bank, and one of the customers in the bank was this musician, former musician, who was starting a charity. And there was a sick child in I think it was in Garnerville, if I remember, with like a rare bone disease, if I remember. And he said, you know what, I'm going to start a foundation, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to call in all my old music buddies, and he had some big names, and like if you're in a jazz guitar, he had I think it was George Benson was there. I think he had Les Paul was at Night of His Own, was part of that. He did a show with Les Paul. I did because I was stage managing, so I helped out.
I was there the whole time with you, I thought.
Les Paul was at a separate venue the night later.
Oh.
It wasn't at the actual big event.
Interesting.
So his idea, which is funny because I think his idea was ass backwards, but it ended up working. I think he had all these big name ish guys like George Benson, who was well known, but they were playing during the day in this big venue in was it Nyack? I don't remember where it was, but it was definitely in Rockland
Village.
Letchworth Village.
Because that's where there's like an abandoned like an insane asylum like across the street.
Right. But then either on the Friday or Saturday night, I forget which night it was, he was going to do a local band thing. Like, you know what? We're going to do these names during the day, which you'd think wouldn't the big names play at night and the locals play during the day? But whatever. He was like, this is what we're going to do. And I was like, hey, I have a band. Why don't I come play it? And he's like, cool, yeah. And I ended up stage managing. I helped organize the whole thing too. I worked with him really close to organize this thing. And so Evil Kitty was on the bill. And I think we went third to last, if I remember. I think Black Roses went right before us.
Right.
Or right after us. And then
there was only 3 bands. I think I was supposed
to. No, there was more bands. There was like 6 or 7 bands, but we were like towards the end of the set. And and the headliner was a local band called Shibuti, which we'll get to in a second. Now, between the time that we were booked to do this show and the actual show, Jamie left. Again,
Yeah.
I don't remember why. I don't remember any bad blood with Jamie. Like I don't remember anything bad happening. I don't know if she just wasn't interested anymore or whatnot. But for whatever reason, she kind of ghosted us. And
Come back.
yeah, I know. Again, no ill will towards Jamie.
Yeah.
Total all love for Jamie. So she left, and we were now getting desperate again, and it was getting close to where we were going to be doing the Cream PMC set again. But now that wasn't going to work because the songs we had written since then really wouldn't work for Randy singing. When you look at Never Know and you look at Love Is, and you look at they're just not Randy songs. So now we're getting desperate, and we also had a keyboard at the time. Another friend of ours, Lefty, we're like, okay, so we got this keyboard player. We're good to go. But now we need a singer, and we're getting desperate. So again, we're interviewing these people, and that picture you just had up, that was the audition. That was the first time we met Sue.
This is an audition?
That really bad kind of blurry picture of her. Yeah, that one. That was the audition.
Yeah, these look like video stills.
They were terrible. That was from a camera from a flip phone.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're not talking high quality here. This is very low res. So we met Sue, and she was great. Now, what you need to know about Sue is she was pretty much out of our league on every level, right? She was a good singer.
Yeah.
she looked like a young Jennifer Lopez. She was very, very easy on the eyes. She was way out of our league, and she came in
and professional credentials too, right?
I don't remember if she had. I don't remember her credentials. I don't know if she ever did sing before.
She have purple hair here, or is that just
no? It's just bad lighting.
Okay, I don't remember that.
But I don't think she had. It was Sanoa who had the credentials. Sue didn't have the credentials.
God,
As a matter of fact, but Sue was a different band. So, Sue, I don't think had ever sung, but was kind of interested. But she didn't like the music. Like she wasn't into rock at all. Like she came in, she said, "You know what? Thanks, nice guys, but I'm really not into it. Whatever." So Lou and I begged her. We said, "Hey, look, do us one favor. We got this charity show for this sick kid. We really want to do it. So could you at least just get us through this one show, and then we can go our separate ways, friends. Cool. Like no ill will, nothing. Just get us through the one show." And she said yes. So she agreed to do it, and that was this show. The headliner that day showed up and decided to change their name. So I believe this is the first show they played not as Shibuti, and they changed their name to Coheed and Cambria.
Yeah, which is a name no one's gonna remember, right?
Yeah, right? They only opened for Iron Maiden and played Rock in Rio, and
I guess this is why they call it a close band, huh? Are these guys any good?
Here it is. Did I film this? I'm not even sure.
And this is from the same show. This is from
the show. This is
Guitars
the
for
show.
Life.
Yeah.
And this is where they had
my YouTube account.
Is this where they had the video? They were playing a video on the screen. They were going to put the video down.
I don't remember a video.
I think it is. I think it's behind the screen.
Oh. I don't think it worked. Yes, guys, that's Claudio before he had a big afro.
And Greg's going to give me crap for them because Greg, I don't think he's a huge fan of theirs, but you know what? I always liked them. They were the local guys. I have nothing but love for them. I think they're great.
The first ever Coheed and Cambria show with Evil Kitty.
Now, like Kiss, they can say they do have a cruise. They did do a Coheed and Cambria cruise.
Yeah, that's true. And at one point, I think Mark Wahlberg owned their story rights. Let's see, the first Coheed and Cambria performance ever. And they're still sound checking. God damn it.
All right.
There it is. And this is, I remember when they used to start shows with these samples, and this is from a Poe album, which I own. Good album.
But the funny thing is that they actually served as our stage crew. Like they were carrying our amps on the stage, and so this is definitely not famous Coheed
No.
and Cambria.
I mean, they were sort of famous in our local scene.
Oh, for the scene, they
But
were the big
that's
band
like,
for sure.
what, 50 people at a room, you know?
Yeah.
You at your most vulnerable.
And that's on their first album.
Pole Position. Oh yeah, these are all songs. They had already recorded it at this point. With my friend Jason DeZuzio, who later ended up writing a song for Imagine Dragons.
So if you think about the two bands that were decent size that were recording in that area at the time, it was them and Dream Theater. Those are the two bands that were recording locally that were kind of big from. Although Dream Theater really wasn't from the scene.
Yeah,
they're more from
really.
Long Island, but.
Well, I could say I know John a little bit now. Well, his wife more so. I have conversations with his wife. Not currently, but in the past. Anyways, yeah, look at this. Oops.
Vonesper's almost as big as Coheed and Cambria.
No, but this is from my sister YouTube channel, Vonesper Vault. And look, this video has 42,000 views.
Doesn't surprise me.
And I can't remember who filmed it. I think we had I don't remember if it was our camera on a tripod or if someone gave it to us, but it's probably
That's a good
ours.
question because you were probably hanging backstage with us at the time.
No, I was watching them.
Were you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I'm sure we watched them too. I'm sure we came back to them. I'm sure we did. I'm sure we watched them.
But yes, Black Roses. I think Deflatio played.
So
I was supposed to play at one point, but it never happened for some. I don't remember. There was some drama, I think.
And in the video we'll show, and we're getting close to it. There is scenes. There will be clips from that show in there. Probably the worst clips of the whole video are probably from that show.
This is also photos from that day.
From that day, yeah, that was Lefty. Lou.
What happened to her?
She got married. I
totally forgot about her.
Yeah, she got married and moved to Texas. She ended up marrying. There was another band, a local band called Sloan Automatic. So she actually married Sloan from Sloan Automatic.
Sounds familiar, and probably because of this story.
I think they're an insurance agency. I think they opened an insurance agency. I think.
There's the amazing Randy. There's you.
Still in a baseball jersey.
With your corporate logos. I hope Pepsi has paid you well.
I wish.
Because you're wearing Pepsi shirt, Pepsi baseball shirt, fucking you got a Pepsi thing on your guitar. What's
here? Look at this.
Jesus. Yeah.
Still got my Pepsi endorsement.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I want to see that Pepsi money. Jeez, you were like, you guys didn't really know how to dress for the stage yet.
I had Michael Jackson level endorsements. She always looked great.
There you go. That's a really crude looking flyer from the era.
Yeah.
But the logo is basically the same.
Yeah, all we did was, I think the only difference to the logo is we made the E capital and moved it to the bottom. That's pretty much the only change to the logo.
And what's happening
So this was
is that her?
That's Sue. So after that show, two things happened. One, Sue decided
Coheed and Cambria became superstars.
They became superstars. Yeah, no kidding. So Sue decided she liked to be on stage and singing. And I think her boyfriend thought it was hot. So she was like, you know what? I'm going to stick around. And we were like, yeah, we're good with that. So we decided to go back and have her re-sing all the old stuff that we had done with Jen and Jamie. And we added one new song, which also has a Coheed kind of connection to it.
Right.
We wrote a song called "Try," which might be the best song we wrote, to be honest. That might be, if I had to pick a hit, I might say that's the hit. So "Try" to me was a combination of me trying to write something like "Sixpences, None the Richer, Kiss Me," which is kind of like your verses for "Try." But then for the chorus, I was like, you know what? Coheed and Cambria is not that special. I can totally do the Coheed vibe.
Mhm.
And I kind of wrote what I considered to be like a Coheed style chorus, and kind of blended them together. So we ended up going in and recording with Sue.
Is
The other
that
thing,
Kurt? Is this from the same room?
no, that's an engineer from the studio.
Oh, okay.
And that's Lou and I sitting there
Kinda
listening
looks
to
like
the
Kurt,
mixing.
doesn't it?
A little, but yeah, it's not Kurt. I can tell you, it's Kurt.
Yeah.
Kurt was definitely not involved at this point.
Was I here? I
Um,
don't think I was here for
I don't
this.
think you were there. You might have been in
I was
college at this
I might
point.
have been in college, yeah.
And that's us outside, probably after the studio session.
You look like you're
And
dressed for work.
well, yeah, probably came right from work to go to the studio. So it was just mixing, and it wasn't like I don't think Lou and I were even playing.
Yeah. It
Maybe
was all
Lou did a
tracked
bass
already,
track, but it was
probably.
pretty much it was pretty much his
Oh.
vocals. So the other thing we did with Sue, because Sue speaks fluent Spanish, so it's one of her
Right.
native languages. So we did Spanish versions of Never Know and Try. So we did the English rock version, and the Spanish version at the time was basically just overlaying the rock track with Spanish lyrics. But we did for Never Know. We had her boyfriend at the time. I think it was her boyfriend at the time. I gotta get his name for the credits. He played Latin percussion, so we did some
Right.
Latin percussion tracks. Now, what I can tell you is for the upcoming release that I'm going to be putting out in the next couple months, I revamped those songs so they don't sound like the rock versions anymore. I actually made them acoustic Spanish style.
Mm.
So you really have the acoustic instruments with the
So she finally
acoustic
got what
Latin
she
guitar.
wanted 20 years
We're
later.
finally going to have, and I keep joking with my wife, when this comes out, the only songs that are going to make any money are going to be the two Latin ones on like the Latin rock channels on
Could be.
Spotify, and but I'll take it. So yeah, so we did Try with Sue, and then we did it over the next couple of years. We did, I think, like 3 shows with Sue before I ended up having to
I know one
move out
was
of the
at
country.
Lemore's, right?
Lemoore, yeah, we did. Lemoore was, I think, our 3rd show, because that was my second date with my wife.
Ah.
Was the Lemoore show. I was like, you know what, I'm going to show off. And
I think it was the
I'm a
3rd
rock
time I'd
star.
ever been there.
Yeah, I mean, we played. Yeah, it was a
3rd or
great
4th.
show.
Because the
Great
first time
show,
I was
Lemoore.
ever there, I played as well.
I think if Lou was here, and I'm not sure if Lou ever joined or not, he would say that was the moment we felt like rock stars on the Lemoore stage with the big lights and the big. I mean, it was
If
just.
people don't know Lemore's, it was kind of a semi-famous rock club in New York, Brooklyn. Lots of old metal bands used to play there.
Oh, Van Halen started there,
Anthrax,
Metallica,
sure.
Typo Negative.
But then, yeah, it was like the home of Carnivore and Typo Negative. They were like
Yeah.
the local, and Biohazard and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah. And
And it was-
I played there with Bile.
It's a weird place because it's in the middle of like this industrial kind of zone.
Yeah.
And there's Lemoore.
Yeah, and they
Which is
tried to
kinda
move it to
cool.
Staten Island for a couple of years, but that just didn't work, I don't think.
Yeah. But then Randy ended up moving out of state. I actually moved out of the country. And then when I came back to the country, we wanted to play some more shows. So we actually got a substitute drummers. We got Dave Myron, who's a great guy. Still friends with him. Still friends with all these people, actually. Still close to Sue. Sue is I don't know. She's a private person. I really don't want to give her whole story, but she's no longer in New York. And she's very happy where she is right now. So
Uh-oh, you're breaking
love-
up again.
no.
Let me kick you out again. Do this one more
All right.
time. Womp womp. What's going on in that Florida internet? Well, I was thinking, let's wait for him to come back. There he is. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but
Now, the other cool story about the Lemoore show was the keyboard player we were playing with at that show. It was a one-off. He used to be the touring keyboard player for Cyndi Lauper.
ha, I know people who toured with Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah, I don't
I
remember
wonder
his
if they
last
toured
name.
together.
His name is Ray. I don't remember his last name, but his name is definitely Ray.
I'll ask if I remember next time I see this person.
And it was really cool because we literally brought him to my house like a day or two before the show. He learned the entire set in the one day. But again, professional musician, right? So he just made some charts and he was fine. It didn't take him very. And then to be honest, it's not like we're writing, prog rock
rock,
type.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Pretty
it's
standard
pretty
rock
standard,
music.
easy. Yeah. 6 chords at most kind of song. Nothing too fancy.
Yeah.
But the coolest thing is during the Battle Rages On, which is again original Evil Kitty tracks, we did a kind of solo duel that was totally ad-libbed on stage between him and I. Like I would play like a thing, then he would play like a response, and I would play, and he would, and it was awesome. So that was like a really cool kind of ad-lib rock. And you got to remember that the band at that point was so tight, we could go off script. And just based on eye contact and get right back on in a second. So
Yeah, even though you only played like 5 or 6 shows ever with the band, at least the core group had been rehearsing together for years.
Yeah, Lou, Randy, and I could.
Yeah.
Just on a gesture, we would know what we were going to do and be right together, which was just. And for anybody who's been in bands like that, it's just an amazing feeling to be that connected to musicians on stage. So yes, let's get now to the video. So let me set up the video. So
yes, an hour and a half into the show, we're gonna finally
hour and a half into the video, the premiere of the video, and this
video for a song that's 20 years old.
This song, I don't know if you remember, you and I used to jam on this riff in probably in the basement where you are now.
I'm in your old room right now.
No, I mean in the house.
Yeah.
But I think you used to play drums on it. Like we would just bang around on this riff, and I ended up kind of turning this riff into a song. It's called "Love Is." Jennifer Rothhart wrote the lyrics to it. Sue ended up recording the vocals to it. So this is the reimagined, remixed version of "Love Is" that will be on the upcoming release. Upcoming, I say soon. I have 9 tracks ready to go. I'm looking for like 3 more tracks, but it's on a damaged hard drive. I'm trying to recover the files so I can do them. Yeah, so I really need those files so I can kind of get it over like the 45-minute mark. And then I'm going to finish it up and release it and on all the streaming services. But this is the kind of promo video. It's Love Is.
Coming soon. So you're using CD Baby? Because that's a whole nother conversation.
I think I looked into all the different things. I think that's where we're going to land. I think it's going to be
CD Baby. Physical products?
I will have physical, probably not vinyl, probably definitely CD because I collect CD. Maybe we do the USB drives like you're doing. I think they offer that.
I'm sure.
And plus all this access to all the streaming services. So we'll finally get Evil Kitty out there so that when people hear Evil Kitty Keith, they know it's not just some random name my brother gave me.
All right, let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, please. Let's roll the clip.
I'll full screen this so then we can comment on it afterwards.
Yeah,
and I haven't.
Awesome.
I don't think I've seen this yet, so this is going to be new for me as well, in a way.
Sit back and enjoy. And for those of you who like green Jello, this is that same kind of bombastic rock. So hopefully you'll enjoy it.
Less puppets here.
Less puppets, but great band.
You
I see my cameo in that is just standing in front of the camera
And walking in front of the
and
camera,
walking in
doing
front of the camera. I was like,
singing
"Oh, cool, there's
along.
footage of me playing with Evil Kitty." No, just me
No,
walking in front of the frame.
no, those were all clips of us actually playing that song.
Yeah, yeah, and that show where I'm walking around, I think I booked that show. I
Yeah, that
also played that
was
show.
yeah, that was
That
with
was at
us,
Desmond's
you,
Tavern with Death Mask.
and Death Mask, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
R.I.P. Katie, we love you.
yeah,
Oh, I miss Death Mask so much.
yeah. Was it Carl Pavano? What's the name of the song? I love
Yeah,
you,
there's
Carl
3
Pavano.
parts to that, and 2 of them made the album, but I have the part that didn't as well somewhere in my archive because that's a whole nother story. Death Mask is a whole
Yeah,
nother
yeah.
podcast, and maybe I could do that. There's a band called Death Mask. They're not as metal as you think it
No, they're
sounds. They're
more
actually
a
not
lighter
metal at
rock.
all.
Yeah,
Well,
they're a lighter rock,
they're
but
kinda
they're
like how I described the Cardigans, in
yeah,
which, if you listen to the Cardigans' famous record, First Band on the Moon, which I absolutely love, it's a heavy metal record in disguise. If you think about it that way, like they do, and the Rosetta Stone of it all is that they cover Iron Man by
yeah.
Black Sabbath, and you can kinda get it like, okay, that's the translation of how they interpret metal, and, like, it's pretty metal if you think about it that way, some of those songs. It just doesn't sound like it, and I think the
Yeah,
same
but
applies to Death Mask, 'cause
didn't
that
they
guy, the
also?
guitar player, was kinda metal.
Yeah, but didn't they also do an album with like Tom Jones?
They did a single with Tom Jones. They did
Yeah,
"Burning Down the House," the Talking Heads song. That was great, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I would say they're like the Cardigans, but yeah, I mean they're more of a softer rock, or like a Sixpence None the Richer kind of
Yeah, it
vibe,
was
but
pretty
they're
mellow,
very,
but, there is
but it was
metal
catchy. It was good.
elements to it, and I absolutely loved that. Anyways, that's a whole nother conversation. We'll save that. That's Evil Kitty, Love is there, like, a projected release date? Unlike my stuff, which
No, just because I'm trying to get those other three songs, and I can't access the files. So as soon as I access the files and I can kind of finish the recording and mixing, I'll get it out, or I'll make the decision I can't get the files, and I'll just release it as the 9. But I have the 9 tracks already mixed, ready to go. I think
does nobody
only
else
Lou's
have
heard
a
them.
copy of it?
I
Those
doubt.
files?
I
Lou doesn't
doubt
have a
it.
backup or anything?
I don't think so. I think I kept all the.
Is it on a CD
I
somewhere or
I
DVD?
I do have the CDs from the studio, but for some reason they're not reading.
'Cause I
So
know,
I'm
you sent
trying.
me K through 12 multi-tracks. I
The
have them
K
on
through 12, I actually had my wife as a gift for me. When I actually have the K through 12 tapes are actually like right here,
right.
the actual reel. But those were actually digitized. So I actually have all the
Yeah,
K through
that's what I
12
have,
stuff
that's what I have.
digitized.
So I know, like, I don't know if those probably wasn't part of that set, but I don't think I have a backup of what you're looking for.
I don't. Yeah, you probably don't.
So I
But
think I
yeah,
just have those.
because I thought I had America, Wall, and Battle, and I was hoping I had Will I Cry. But
Were
I know
those
we had
recorded on
Sue sing
tape?
Battle.
And does that tape exist anymore?
No,
No,
that
that was
wasn't
all
tape. That
digital?
was all digital. Yeah, that was all done on Pro
Wow.
Tools.
Yeah, good luck with that. I don't know much about hard drive recovery. If you guys in the chat know anything about hard drive recovery and have any, you know, any tips or tricks,
Yeah,
by all means.
and the only reason I was even doing this is because I had a lull in my other projects. So I have another project coming out, which is it's kind of an interesting project. It was meant to be like a 1 or 2 song collaboration with a friend of mine from high school. Ended up becoming a full project with Evil Kitty Kevin on bass.
That's me.
That's you. And it's a pretty unique concept we came up with. It's going to be a parody album, but doesn't sound like a parody album. Like it's not funny.
That's more like green jelly.
It's not funny. It's not like Weird Al. But the
Yeah.
concept is we're taking things very meta. So, for example, we have a song called Anthrax that's in the style of the band Anthrax, but it's actually about the biochemical anthrax. But the cool thing is that the songs will stand on their own. So even if you don't know that it's just good songs, they're really good tracks. But there's a deeper kind of hidden horror parody kind of to it, which is kind of neat. And we're looking to do like a a full 10 to 12 song album. And
Yeah. How many songs
Greg,
is this right now, and how many did I play on? Because I record this stuff sometimes and then just totally forget about
I
it.
think you've done 4. I
Okay,
think
that
I
sounds
have another 5 or 6 that are almost done to send you, except I'm waiting for vocals. I just wanted the vocals to be done before you did the bass, so you didn't do something that was like a counter melody and screw up his vocal lines. Um, but yeah, we're looking to do about 10 to 12. Greg is working on the logo. And for those of you who don't know Greg, he has an infamous appearance already on your show, as
Yeah.
he
I
offended
can address
the
that, by
head
the
of
way. I
the
can no,
offensive
talk,
band.
tell us what happened, and I will tell you what
Yeah, and I can tell you there's
I
no ill
mean.
will. Greg didn't do anything. But you had your second highest
Uh-oh,
rated.
wait. You're
Oh,
breaking up
no,
again.
no, no, no.
All right, one more time, yeah?
Am I good?
No. I'm gonna kick
No.
you out again. It's like every few minutes. God dang. Yes, we're gonna talk about a podcast from a few weeks ago that I did, so check it out on my channel. Yes, okay.
Yeah. So your second highest rated guest was the co-founder of Guar.
Wait, who
And
was my first? I haven't been paying
I,
attention
I
to the name.
think Maximum Bob is by far your highest rated guest so
Oh.
far, which is hard to compete with those two. But Hunter Jackson, obviously the founder, co-founder, he yelled at me when I asked if he's the founder. So let's be really clear, co-founder, one of the
Yeah.
co-founders of Guar. Which, by the way, I mean, for anyone who wants to go, who's a big Guar fan, the documentary is great, but the documentary is about an hour and a half. Your Q&A
No,
with
it's
Hunter
about
goes,
2.5 hours actually.
was
It
it?
goes fast though.
But your Q&A with Hunter goes about 4.5 hours. So.
Later. Yeah, and I guess this is a good spot to announce. I think I've kind of announced it, but I will be starting another sub show called VonPod, which I can't believe nobody's ever done yet, because it's right there. You know the song Death Pod from Scumdogs of the Universe? Duh, VonPod. So I had so much fun doing that, and I reached out to a couple people to kind of put my feelers out there if anyone was interested, and there is interest. So I already have, like, if I do this twice a month starting maybe next month, I probably have till the end of the year basically booked already. Hunter Jackson is making original art for me right now. He said he's almost done with it, and that's another reason why I'm broke. I will put up a QR code at the end of this to order my album, because yeah, I've been commissioning classic artists from Guar to make me original art and stuff like that. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And so continue your story to wrap it up into a dedicate.
So Greg, obviously, like you, is a huge Guar fan. Greg's also a monster guitar player and a great singer. So he's kind of a big package, and he does his own side project. Or I should say side is his main project. It's his project. Burr McMillan, it's called. And he can find his channel on YouTube.
Does he have stuff on Spotify or anything? I haven't.
He does. I think he has 2 or 3 on Spotify. I think he has more on YouTube, but he has a couple tracks on Spotify. And I think he has a song for his father and his brother. He lost both his father and brother very tragically.
I remember him and his brother playing music in the basement of the house I passed by a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and if we ever get him on the show, we can show that video. It'd be funny.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll show Metal Greg back in his high school days. But anyway, big Guar fan. So when Dave Brokey died, as a fan, he decided, well, I'm going to cover one of their songs. So he did "Sick of You," which is a great song, funny video. And we thought we'd end your Guar cast with him, but of course it was dedicated to Dave Brokey, which we know Hunter and Dave have
kind of
their
arch enemies. Yeah.
But again, from Greg's point of view, there is no division, right? It's not like I have to be on team.
As a fan
Dave
perspective, we don't have that division.
Right.
Like we love all of it.
He has the ability to love both sides, right?
Exactly.
So,
as do I.
Right.
That's what's great about my show. I know there's tension in between people in the Guar camps, but I am like, I would say Switzerland, but Switzerland is no longer neutral. So I don't know, whatever that is now. and
Yeah.
neutral ground for Guar.
So, and I think Greg is too. I mean, I don't know if he
Yeah.
has any issues. I mean, he's a
I'm
huge
not
fan, so
involved in
he
it, but I've always
no.
been watching it from an outside point of view, so I don't have any of those internal
So his
dramatic
dedication
struggles.
to someone who passed has nothing to do with insulting Hunter, and we love Hunter. We so happy for all the contributions he
Yeah,
made,
yeah.
and wish him all the best, obviously.
And he did great art for the chicken heads.
See that? But yeah, so supposedly he's allegedly Greg offended the co-founder of the most offensive band.
Yeah,
in
as I
history.
hit play on that video and it said dedicated to Dave Brocky, the last thing Hunter says on my show before walking away
Dave Brocky,
is
fuck this.
something like, "Why would you do that?" And I actually had fans like reach out to me like, "That was really great," but I'm like feeling really bad because it ended kind of weird, and you know, someone actually wanted me to clip that out of the show and repost it, which is very nice gesture, but I'm not going to. And I did reach out to Hunter to make sure that he wasn't offended, and he was not. Like, it was all in good fun and whatever. It's all good, guys. Hunter is fine. It wasn't like we ruined a relationship with that clip.
Yeah. So my partner in crime for the band Dedicate, which again no timeline for that release, because we want to do it right. So now he's part of the Guar lore by having an infamous moment with one of the co-founders of Guar.
Which I love. I love this photography on this magazine by Jeremy Saffer, who photographed some of my friends, actually.
And if you're ever running low on guests for Guarcast, you should get him and talk about the new album, because you may have difference of opinions, and it would be a fun debate to kind of hear about the new album.
That's what's going to be fun about it. I think I'm going to be ping-ponging between Guar members or ex-Guar members and then just fans to like dig into the history. And then instead of just in those episodes, we'll just hyper focus on like a specific era of the band to like dig into. So that's the plan.
So I have that, and then the other project I'm working on is going back in the Wayback Machine. I had all these old songs from like junior high that were sitting around, and I was chatting with Evil Kitty Lou, and because we talk.
He needs a new name because that just doesn't ring like our names.
Satan
we
on
have
the
the
bass guitar.
We have the Kitty and the K thing going on.
I always call him just Satan on the bass guitar, condemning us all to hell. That's pretty much how I refer to Lucifer, called Lucifer. So Lou and I, we've stayed in touch forever. Like we never lost contact. And I was talking about doing something, and we were going to do another Evil Kitty, but unfortunately Sue wasn't going to be available to do it. We did reach out to Sue. We talked to Sue, but again, nothing bad. We were still on great terms with Sue. She's still family. But she just like, she wasn't in a place to do it. And so we said, well, we have all this old stuff. And Lou was like, well, why don't we do an album with all your old stuff?
So it's
some
that's
of the
actually
first
probably
stuff
my
I've
favorite song. Some of my favorite songs of yours.
And it's one of Lou's favorite songs.
They're so pure.
And I'm hoping when we do Pirate Man, I'm hoping to have a duet with the new singer of this band and Johnny Depp, with actually Greg from Dedicate. So we would actually kind of cross-pollinate the stuff.
Because he did play some of that back in the day, or he jammed on it.
He jammed on Pirate Man, that video. It's awful.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were in high school and you were not very.
He
was a little above your
was ahead of
level
us
at that time, and you were like playing drums and keyboards.
Yeah, and he still may be ahead of me. He's as good a guitar player I am. He's a really, really good guitar player. He even, I don't want to ruin his story. He can tell the story, but he actually met Zakk Wylde and showed Zakk Wylde an easier way to do some of the pinch harmonics that Zakk Wylde does. And Zakk Wylde was like, oh, I never even thought of that. So, I mean, Greg is a legit, really good guitar player. But yeah, so I have this other project, and Lou was like, let's do that. So we've been working on doing the Total Stranger album, which is mostly old song. Like the first songs I ever wrote. Like the first song I ever wrote was a song called Comedy of Errors, back to your description of Evil Kitty in the beginning. It was for a school project. I wrote this song based on the Shakespeare play, and that's going to be on this album. The first song I ever wrote. And I describe it as kind of a modern take on an 80s rock album. That's what this is. It's very 80s sounding. It's not, it'll still have some big overdriven guitars, but it's not going to be your your like Evil Kitty kind of modern rock sound. It's more of a toned down kind of 80s sounding. And we finally found a singer, and I hope I don't butcher her name. She's from England. Her name is it's Bex Bermusa. Found her online. Tremendous voice.
Oh, this is news to me.
This is new, yeah.
So when did this happen?
Maybe about a month ago.
Oh, you
So
should send me stuff that she's done.
She has an Instagram page with her stuff. She does a cover band. She plays in like a cover, like a pub. I guess maybe it'd be called a pub band in her.
There
her
was
side of the
actually I know someone that I had in mind that maybe you could ask, but she's usually a cruise ship singer, so she's not really like accessible most of the time. And also, you'd probably have to pay her. So
yeah. Well, she was excited when she heard the music. She kind of, and we'll see. Hopefully, knock on wood, it's not done yet. But she's working on tracks now. There are some tracks that need vocals, so she's writing some lyrics now. A lot of them have lyrics that I wrote back in when I was probably 15. so don't expect Roger Waters level prose from some 15-year-old emo kid.
Emo wasn't even a thing yet.
I was emo before emo was cool.
I guess I wouldn't call this stuff emo.
I'll tell you one interesting thing when I was going through her stuff that she had on her channel. She was doing like AC/DC stuff and so big rock stuff, so to kind of show off the big voice. But then she did a David Bowie song, and I haven't even told her this story. She doesn't even know this story. And you know, I'm a massive fan of David Bowie's guitar player, Reeves Gabrels.
Reeves, come on the show.
I'd love to have Reeves. If I want to co-host that one.
Yeah, of course. Well, maybe you can set it up.
Yeah. Well, he's currently on tour with a band called The Cure, so I don't know if that's going to happen.
The Who?
The Cure.
Yeah, not The Who. The Cure.
The Cure. So he's kind of a big deal. But when he was in the band, I went through
touring right now.
I think in Europe.
Oh, I'm waiting for that new album or albums to drop.
So I went down the whole Bowie rabbit hole when he was in the band. So even stuff earlier. And she did a Bowie cover, but it wasn't like a big song. It was a deep cut. She did something off the Labyrinth soundtrack, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh, which one?
Not
Dance
Magic
Magic
Dance. No, it wasn't Dance Magic Dance. It was the last song.
I don't remember.
Now I'm embarrassed. I don't remember the name. I can probably hum it more than I can say, but yeah, but she did a really deep cut, which I thought was really impressive. Since I'm a David Bowie fan. No, it wasn't Underground.
Let's see.
Maybe it was Underground.
Dance,
maybe it was Underground. It might have been Underground, actually.
That was with Luther Vandross?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But yeah, so David Bowie, deep cut, British singer. Excited, hopefully. Greg's already agreed he'll do the Pirate Man as like a duet. So hopefully, she I haven't given her that track yet. So.
Yeah, the Pirate Man, that's like really crude lyrics. I mean, not crude as in like offensive, just like you were definitely a teenager when you wrote that.
It's very linear.
Yeah.
It's very linear. I got news for Comedy of Errors is too. Comedy, if you think about it, it's literally taking the Shakespeare play, bullet pointing it, and that's pretty much what it is. But yeah, really excited to do that. But what happened was she hasn't gotten back to me with some of the lyric tracks, so I haven't been able to mix that. And Greg got busy with this thing called life, right? So he's still working on his stuff. So I had this downtime, and I was like, you know what? Let me go do the Evil Kitty stuff. So I pulled out the Evil Kitty tracks, remixed them, remastered them, re-recorded them.
Spotify and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have not much to speak for myself because Vonesper is not on Spotify anymore either. So, well, you can still find it on Bandcamp. So,
yeah. So hopefully it'll be out there in the world soon, so people can enjoy it. So,
and speaking of Bandcamp, where's my flyers? Oops, I went too far.
Yeah, and purchase my brother's new album. Get it out there. I'm on like 5 of the tracks.
Here we go. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. Look, I made a QR code last night. So everybody who's watching, even if you're watching not live later on, pull up your phone, get your camera out, and scan that code and buy my new album, Welcome to My Pity Party, which is basically done. And then I just have to like copyright songs and like put it out onto the things. But it's in the mastering phase. I just got some masters back today. I haven't been able to listen to them yet. And I could use your money until I start working again soon. So buy my album. Oh, wait, hold on. Why don't you, I need to grab something across the room. Tell us more about the album. What can
Tell
you
us more
say
about
about
the
it?
album. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much more to tell. I took all the original studio tracks, so all the amazing Randy drum tracks, blues bass.
I meant tell them about my album.
Oh, your album.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So this was a challenge for me because this is not my brother's normal kind of album. So if you're expecting the Vonesper putty root style of music, this is not it. I guess my brother went a little crazy during COVID, and he decided to start writing outside of the genre. These little riffs, these little melodies, and then kind of compiled them together into the songs. Some of the tracks he sent me here that I recorded here in my studio. Others we did as kind of just one-off when I was visiting him and visiting family in New York.
You don't even remember doing.
I don't even remember doing some of them. He would just run a loop
because they weren't even songs yet.
Right, there was like loops. You were like these little loops, and we're like, "Hey, play something on this." And I thought somewhere you were going to give to some of your friends for some of their albums.
Yeah, I didn't even know what I was going to do with these yet. It wasn't even a project yet.
And he would give me some ideas. Hey, try doing this, or hey, do this thing, or whatever. And I would just jam along with it and kind of came up with them. But yeah, it was fun because it was definitely music that's not normally in my wheelhouse. So it was kind of fun to kind of
yeah. Like that's one thing to explain about this album is people know me and should know me as more of a hard rocker, punk rocker, sort of grungy heavy metal vibes, and this is like mostly not that at all. This is like pop music and like, you know, stuff that I could use in theory in the background of videos that I'm, you know, for my professional video editing life. You know, people always need background music for the stuff, and it just ended up being enough for 3 albums. So I'm putting out a series of 3 solo albums. This is the first one, and here I wanted to grab, these are the actual CDs that you would receive hopefully pretty soon, that I hand drew every single cover. Every single one is a unique piece of art, and I did these so long ago that my hair was here when I did it, and now it's down to here. So I've been sitting on these for a long time, but I had about 30 covers left over from whatever, and so they are going to be yours when you buy them. So I know
you're doing Buckethead style, huh? Doing original
kind
art?
of, yeah. Exactly. Well, I've been doing this for like 15 years, but probably Buckethead has too. I just think, you know, most people don't even play CDs. They don't even have CD players anymore. So at least you're getting an original piece of art, right? And so even if you use it as a coaster, it's original art coaster. I hand draw every single one of these, and I will probably number them as they go out too. So please order them, and they will get to you way sooner than the USB drives, because that I need to finish the music video portion of that, and that's a whole another sort of project. The music first. Music's going to get out first, and it also in saying that, well, let me play the promo for the album. And I was hoping by now I would have updated this promo with the current mixes and masters, but it's not yet. So, you know, imagine this, but like better.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Welcome to my pity party. Everyone's invited. Celebrate your misery.
comment below. Comment below. Comment below.
So as you can see, it's not just me and Evil Kitty Keith, it's Brian Biglione from the Dresden Dolls, Imani Coppola. Some of you may know her from Peeping Tom with Mike Patton. That's the first time I ever saw her. Both
Or
members
Little
of Abby
Jackie.
Death. Yeah, Little Jackie. There's a new Little Jackie album coming on, and hopefully as part of the next phase of this podcast, she will be here. I'm not announcing anything, but that's the plan. Who else? Lexa Terrestrials, an alien rapper who actually came to see Green Jelly in Philly last week. That was the only person that I know that came to the tour. Slim from Green Jelly is also on the album. That's the person who was on the couch giving you a finger. There was some other, of course, Pat, my friend Pat, Cousin P from my high school bands.
Some scam from Society Can't Accept Me.
Scam, and which is coming up on our, I think this year is our 20th anniversary of our Scam album that we recorded in high school, which is crazy. Yeah, both members of Abby Death, Abby Nex, who you would know from every band, Torturers, Cyclone 9, Combi Christ, like all sorts of bands. And Valerie, who is from Putty Root, and Black Tape for a Blue Girl, and the Crew Shadows, and a whole bunch of other bands. And yeah, it's awesome. And so yeah, it's a big undertaking. And then of course there's flashes of other people in that video that are not on the album, but this is what I'm getting to. As part of the video project, it's going to look like basically something like this, like a Zoom call or a live stream where the video album is going to look like a live stream where the album's just happening in front of you. That's why I'm playing different characters, playing different instruments, including Kevin the Dinosaur, my Green Jelly character. And I need viewers, so send in your videos of you rocking out and I will put it in there. There's some in there already. That was some of the members of World Inferno Friendship Society in there. Jeff Frummis is in there playing a racket as a guitar. And of course, oh, that's another piece of news. I don't have the flyer up. Let me see if I can pull that up. Gouge away from this. Let's see if it can. Oh yeah, here, let me this is what I can do. I'm not in this in any way yet, but some music that I made unrelated to the album is going to be in a feature-length film that's already going to screenings and film festivals and stuff. And it's my friend Jeff, who has the Frummis channel, talking about the Misfits and stuff like that all the time. And he's got a new movie coming out called Gouge Away. And do you know what that's a reference to? Evil Kitty Keith?
I don't.
It's a Pixies reference.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And his last film was called Romeo's Distress, which was named after a Christian death song. So let me play the trailer.
Will you do some yoga poses for me? I know you'll do a yoga pose for your Uncle Elmo, right, Anthony?
My friend Stanley. He's missing.
Texts, emails, smoke signals, no answer. I'm just worried.
Give me his info and I'll see what I can do. No promises.
You know, sometimes it's just really hard to play the cards that life deals you.
Iggy.
I'm not in the mood to talk about music right now.
Oh, not Michael Jackson. Iggy, the gas. There's cartridges, the gas works that comes to go with it.
Joe, put that away.
You shitty little asshole. Who the fuck do you think you are?
Tony the Stamper is back and bloodthirsty for territory.
You call that a fucking play?
You're gonna whip you, motherfucker. You never came back here.
There will be blood.
So yeah, and it's not in the trailer, but I actually made a completely original track for that movie recently. He was just like, I'm looking for something in the style of this. And the next day I just did it. And he was like, this is the most perfect thing for this is exactly what I wanted. So that and another old track is going to be score music for that movie. So that's news. Also buy my album. and not only that, wait, I have some more stuff to promote. I want to show I did a photo shoot yesterday with a friend of mine, Midnam Mayhem, and I want to show some photos from that because here that's a better promo for my album than anything else I could ever create for you. So go buy the album. She did a little piece for the music video as well. So there's all my albums on the floor. Yes, you will get one of those exact copies of those hand-drawn covers if you order it. Oops, that's Evil Kitty. I had more. Hold on. There's more to it. Nope. My slideshow's all mixed up. Do. Oh yes, here we go. Here she is modeling the VonEsper Studios t-shirt, which I still have, and they're also for sale on my Bandcamp. So if you scan that QR code or go to vonesper.bandcamp.com, you can find those. Those are a couple years old, and they were also not designed, but I had my friend Claudia, who's an artist, do some spray painting so that each shirt is also a unique has unique fabric spray splatters all over it. And yeah, go buy a t-shirt, go buy my album, and that's all I really need to say about that.
Yeah, we hope we're going to have the Evil Kitty merch out soon too. But even though our album will be available to buy, I'm cool with you just going onto your favorite streaming site and just listening to it. I'm
Yeah,
cool
I
with
mean
that.
it'll also be there, but don't you want a pretty personal product, a hand
If you love
created
it, buy it.
thing?
If not, just listen to it on when you're going to the gym. I'm good either way.
And I wanted to share a little bit of news about my documentary. The show is not really about this anymore. Well, I will talk about it when there's news. I can share that I finally got in contact with the missing band member, Gabby Godhead.
Oh, nice.
We had a nice, about hour-long conversation on the phone the other night, and he's going to be in the documentary. So we got all of them. We got everyone. And the other awesome piece of news I wanted to share is, I think some people have seen this, but not like this. The artist Chad Shears, I want to shout out, made some original art for me. And I guess that's going to be integrated into the new logos and everything. And he actually does art for the Garbage Pail Kids cards, which are still a thing if you don't know. So he's one of the artists for Garbage Pail Kids, and he made me this original Dookie Fly Swatter print. Oh no, this is the original artwork. That is just incredible. So that's my news on the documentary. I know I haven't been working on it as much, but I also interviewed someone named Pollyann the other day virtually for the documentary. She used to write for the LA Weekly and was the first person to ever review the band Pygmy Love Circus when they performed with Haunted Garage. And of course, they're probably most famous now because Danny Carey was a member of that band, who was also the drummer of Green Jello and of course Tool.
Tool, who are they?
I don't know, but he wasn't in the band at the time, I don't think, but he was later. And Pollyann has just interesting stories from the scene. She used to be roommates with Courtney Love.
I mean, Tool can't be as big as Taylor Swift, right?
I believe they knocked her off the charts, and you know that I love to say that because it pisses off all the Swifties. No disrespect to Taylor Swift, except Tool knocked you off the charts, motherfucker.
And Miley Cyrus is way better. Just saying.
Yeah, I love Miley Cyrus. I can say that. If someone's a Swiftie, oh look, I think a couple people just left the stream after I said that. Oh well.
Well, here's what I'll say. Interesting for people, and I know we're all into like different music. You're goth or metal or whatever. But if you, me, Greg, and Lou were ever in a room, I think the one artist all of us could agree on and would listen to happily is Miley Cyrus.
Wow. Yeah.
I think we're all
gotta
Miley
listen to
fans.
her new live record.
It's decent.
Yeah.
Lou and I
Miley
listened to it
joined
when
the
it
chat.
first came
There's
out.
actually a song on my album that is sort of about Miley Cyrus. So if you're a Miley Cyrus fan, you're gonna need this to complete your collection.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is, if anyone out there is a Swiftie, that's what they call their fans, right? I do kind of like, even though I'm not really into it, I want to understand the cult following behind her. So if someone wants to come on and explain that to me, I'm all ears, because I may not be into the songs themselves, but the way she hides things into her artworks and lyrics and stuff, like, I am into that. I do like the Paul is dead thing, and stuff like that. I could get into it in that route, but I'm not going to take the time to do it myself. I need someone to sit here and explain it to me. So that's an open call to everyone out there. And I guess I'll play a teaser for my documentary. I'll play a short one.
I understand why there's so many addicts. You got to be at 100 or 150 and then 0.
Haunted Garage is the way to get healthy and fit in the 90s.
He and I share a common affliction.
I think I heard of them at an AA meeting.
People that came to Haunted Garage shows, I started seeing them in meetings. I thought you just had to be like fucked up to enjoy our music.
You never know where help's going to come from. And in my case, came from Dookie Fleischwater.
Dookie was the intricate part to me getting sober at the time.
We'd never heard of the word sober. We're like, sober? What's that?
Just his presence sometime has been really good for people.
Just knowing the man made it easier for me to deal with my own mental illness.
Being bipolar was the perfect vehicle for this band. That was before medication.
Mental is the other side of genius.
I'm Bill Wilson, don't you fuck with me. I am the trending king sobriety. I'm Bill Wilson, don't you fuck with me. I am the trending king sobriety. Me and Dr. Bob like to take it on a hook. Me and Dr. Bob formed a cold roller book. Piece of music, Bobby Jones, now it's movie stars report. Piece of music, Bobby Jones, now it's movie stars report.
Yeah, dookiedoc.com if you want more of that. Yeah, I went so hard promoting that the beginning of the summer or right before that I kind of took a break to step back and doing some virtual interviews. It's still being worked on. So that's the update there. And it's so cool. Oh my God, look at this. It's perfect.
And then you'll have to go through the nightmare part of editing it down to a certain time. So that won't be fun.
And I did actually a couple months ago start editing, but I just felt like I was missing too many people that I'm going to have to reintegrate. So I'm just kind of waiting until I get the major interviews done, which should happen soon because it's all happening finally. I know we were going to do our Buckethead list, but I think
too late tonight. Yeah, we can save that for another. Maybe when I come on for your next phase, if I'm going to come on to promote your album, we can kill some time with that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good with that.
I don't know if there's anything. Is there anything else we missed?
No, I think we're good. If anyone wants to follow Evil Kitty, there's Facebook. So Facebook/Evil Kitty Music. You can get all things Evil Kitty.
Put the banner back up.
Yeah, I'll release the video tonight. Now I'll make it public. I saved it so Kevin could get the scoop. So he got the premiere, and now I'll release it to the masses. Yeah. And the next step will be the album. So when the album comes out, then we can put it out there, and people will be able to hear it finally. So Evil Kitty will be part of the world music. It'll be there.
Yeah, I don't know if I can announce it yet because it's not totally official, but the next show might be Wednesday instead of Thursday just because of scheduling. So maybe I'll be live on Wednesday instead of Thursday next week. Stay tuned for that. if we do, it's going to be a virtual birthday party of sorts, not for me, for the guest. So stay tuned. Follow me at Kevin Vonesper on Instagram or whatever. I'm pretty easy to find. I don't know if there's anything else left to say other than that. Go check
I think
out
that's
Evil
it.
Kitty.
This is now the official history of Evil Kitty right here on VonPod. This is it. This is
Yeah.
the official document.
And one last time, scan me, and if nothing else, I have 2 tracks up there to preview with the current mix and mastering done, so you can check that out. Buy my record, man! Like, help me. I'm a struggling artist, so help me not struggle as much. If everyone watching right now buys one, that could probably put me through the end of the summer. So, yeah, check it out. Support underground art and DIY music. And also, if you're around Saturday night, check out the WTF-TV.com show and hear about the Green Jello tour. I may or may not be on the show. Don't expect me, but it would be a nice surprise if I pop in. But they're definitely going to be talking about the shows and possibly playing some of the videos that I edited from it.
Is Bill on your album?
No.
No. Okay.
Not this one. He's on the Vonesper album.
The Vonesper.
But
you do have Slim, who's from Green Jello. So if you're a Green Jello fan, you're gonna want this for your collection. If you're a Dresden Dolls fan, or if you're a fan of the new Netflix show Sandman, remember Dresden Dolls used to be the wife of Neil Gaiman. So I mean, you have. I don't. Are they?
I think they are together still.
Okay, so Amanda Palmer, obviously.
Yes, that's my famous Neil Gaiman story, is that he introduced himself to me one time. And I have not watched the Sandman show yet, but I was going to ask.
I have, of course.
Is it good? Did you like
it? It's very close to the comic book, so
which I've never read because I'm a terrible goth.
Yes, I do have the comic book series. So
but I am a fan of who's the artist? Dave McKean?
Well, Sam Keith did some. Dave McKean did some.
Dave McKean designed a Buckethead album and comic book back in the 90s.
Yeah, it's very.
And he directed the Ballad of Buckethead music video with Les Claypool. So
yes, it's definitely worth one. But if you're a fan of that, then again, to be a collector, you need this album because obviously Brian Viglione played with Amanda Palmer. Amanda Palmer's married to Neil Gaiman, so you need the album.
That's right.
So yeah, so even if you don't want to hear me and Kevin on it, there's plenty of other interesting people on it. Whether Amani Coppola or
it's
a lot of great people.
Every song's a hit, and there is a bit of parody in it, which is a weird direction for me because it didn't happen intentionally. I think just years of being in Green Jelly kind of like seeped into me, and it just naturally came out that way. So there's a lot of parody on that. Slim, when she first recorded for it, thought it was like, oh, that's great. I love comedy music. I'm like, that's interesting take. I didn't consider this comedy music, but I guess I'll take it. I mean, she didn't mean it as a negative thing. Her favorite person is Weird Al Yankovic, I think. So,
who's on the new Green Jello album?
Who's on the latest Green Jello album, which I am not on. They did not pick my song for the album, but I do. If you listen to my last show, I have a concept for the next record, so hopefully I'll be on that one.
Good luck to the person mixing that one.
Yeah, I know. I did tell Slim about it. She's mixing her own music, Thinky Flash, and she's like, that sounds like a lot of fun. And I'm like, great, you're hired.
Yeah, I can tell you, I have nowhere near that many tracks and mixing on our stuff, and it's a bear. So I can't imagine mixing an orchestra of guitars.
Yeah, it's quite a task, but it'll probably be more organized than the live show, at least.
That doesn't say much.
No, that's go buy tickets to the Kiss Cruise if you're rich, because that shit is expensive, man.
Although I'm telling you, you said it's a 2-week cruise.
I guess. I don't know. There might be a week. I don't know how it works exactly.
I mean, for the prices you were showing me, Again, a small hotel by the airport for 4 nights is more expensive than that, and you get the entire cruise experience plus Kiss plus Green Jello plus Doc. It's actually kind of a bargain.
And Lita Ford, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a bargain.
If anyone wants to buy a ticket for me, you know, I would go at least hang out and be a puppet. So, yeah, because the original, when they were voting on who was going to be on the Kiss cruise, I was like, how the hell are they going to fit Green Jelly on a boat? There's like 1,000 of us, although
yeah,
probably about 30.
It depends on the version, because you can do a 5-member version of Green
It was
Jello,
literally
or
a
you can do
different band
30.
every single night of the tour to
Right.
an extent. Like, there was core members and then people who joined, and then like people like after I left the tour, more people joined after me, like depending on the city. It was nuts. It's a very unique way to set up a band, but it was a lot of
So my guess is the Green Jello tour will be the core members plus anybody who wants to buy their own ticket and join them.
Well, this isn't even going to be a tour. It's just going to be a one-off.
Right. It's just the two, right? The two cruises, right?
What I'm hearing is the next Green Jello tour is going to not be 12 days. It'll be 30 days. So I guess we'll find out details about that as it comes along. I think it's in the planning.
Interesting.
God damn it, come closer to New York City. I had to drive at least 6 hours just to get to the most local shows for it. It's well worth it, but now I'm broke, so buy my album. Okay, goodbye.
Good night.